Welcome everyone. This is AAUW Conversation and Connection. AAUW stands for the American Association of University Women. We are grand stewards for equity in education and equality in advocacy of everything that goes on in life, especially in young women. We have scholarships for reentry women into Sierra College, but we do a lot of that, and we also equity in everything is what I like to say, not just picking out little nuggets. But anyway, my name is Sharon Watson Hamilton, and this is one way that AAUW can connect with the Auburn, California community. So I have special guests. Hi everyone, I have a really neat guest today. She's a dear friend. She's been an AAUW member for several years, and she has a ton of passionate subjects and projects, and she's a busy lady. But with that, Susan Roughgarden, hello.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning. I know it's December. But you do have a lot of interests, and it's pretty it's hard to keep up, honestly. You're just real dynamic in that respect. So
Thank you.
yeah, so one of your passions, I know you are part of Speech Trek. And so I want to just talk a minute about that before we get into our fun subject.
Oh, thank you. Well, Speech Trek is an amazing program of AAUW, and it was started about 15 years ago. And what we do is we encourage young people in high school to respond to a prompt and then come to a speech contest. And we just call it Speech Trek, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
And the thing is that public speaking is becoming a lost art. It used to be in schools, but nowadays you can't find debate clubs, you can't find a lot of speaking opportunities. And I think that public speaking is so important because it will help you in any career, no matter what job you're doing. As long as you can think clearly about your topic and organize your thoughts and then present it in a way that people will be able to listen and absorb. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to coach
That
them.
is a pretty good gift. So our Speech Trek, though, is going to be February 1st.
Yes.
Right, at Lakeside Room, correct?
Yes.
What time? 1 in the afternoon, something like that?
I think it's 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock?
Yeah.
So that's coming up. I just wanted to give a little preview for members listening out there to mark that on your calendar. It is a Sunday. So let's see, February 1st. I don't think the Super Bowl's that day, so we're good.
Oh,
We're
that's good. I should have checked that before I did the calendar.
Really, we should have, yeah. Anyway, because the Super Bowl's right around in there, but I think it's the 6th, or it'd be the 8th if it was Sunday. Anyway, because my Niners, have to do that, and they're doing very good. Come on, Niner fans. Anyway, so anyway, I just throw that in there. But Speech Trek is fun.
I want to tell you about the topic this year.
Yes.
Okay, because this is the 2026 is going to be the 250 years since the Declaration of Independence. And so what we've asked our young students to do, and this is for boys and girls in high school, to say, this is what the Declaration of Independence said in the beginning. Where have we fallen short, and how do you think we could resolve that in the near future?
Woo. Do they have to go through all the amendments? Because that's where we fall short. No, okay.
No.
No, I'm just easy on that.
Pick a couple of things. It's a 5-minute talk.
Okay.
So that's not very long. You have to choose one or two things
for what,
and then prove your argument.
That's kind of cool. We ought to have one of those for adults and see how we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that's grand. So, we're going to look forward to that. That's coming up. The other thing, real quick, I just will mention, we will have had our holiday party by the time this is shown. But on January 10th, we also have our International Interest Dinner, and that should be kind of fun. I'm trying to get someone to talk from about trafficking and the Red Sand Project. The Red Sand Project is something that's only a few years old, but it's they put red sand in the cracks so that no one falls through the cracks of whatever. Anyway, I'm trying to get that. It's probably 100%, but anyway, January 10th, put it on your calendar. February 1st, put on your calendar, and we'll support both of those endeavors. Having brought up that topic, we're just going to roll right into our topic today. I thought, and I presented this to our historian, Susan, because she was a history teacher and a journalist for a long time, and I thought it would be fun to pick 3 women from the last 250 years, only 3, I know that's hard, that you can spend about 8 minutes each talking about today, or quizzing me, or me quizzing you, and we'll see where this takes us. I think it'll be kind of fun. Okay. So, and it's in preparation. I just say the celebration of 250 years of our independence. You say, come on.
Semi-quincentennial.
See, she can say it. Okay. As long as she practices a couple times, right? No, that's cute. I mean, it's a big word, and you all know I used to work for the post office years and years ago, but there's new stamps out, and they're so cute. They show little old post offices. So anyway, and it's in preparation of the 250 celebration.
And have you seen the old post office in Old Town?
Well, I have signed up to be a docent, but the front steps kind of throw me for a loop. But I thought I'd dig out my old postal sweater and show up. But we'll see. I haven't jumped in 2 feet. I've only got 1 feet and talked to Carol, okay. Who's in charge. Are you a docent for it?
Well, I'm not because I'm so busy. But right. I love the docents, yeah. and I miss being a docent.
Yeah.
And it's a great place. You must stop by. So
yeah, it's a small. It's the oldest post office this side of the Mississippi, I think.
Yes.
And it was continuously running until it stopped 5 years ago, maybe
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
And so that was sad. So I know the Historical Society, we're not selling stamps, but at least we're bringing back the history of it. So that's kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. Woohoo. Okay. So. Are you going to make me guess who you're talking about, or are you just going to tell me?
No, I'm actually going to tell you who I think. But you can ask me about other people, and
okay.
I can tell you about some other people.
Okay.
Because I have to say that your topic really made me think.
Okay.
For a few minutes, because I realized that the way that we view women and women in history has changed dramatically since I was a child. I'm 73, so I grew up in the 50s. I went to high school in the 60s. I went to college in the early 70s. And I was a history major, as you mentioned. If you had asked me when I was in high school or first few years of college who I would have really respected in American history,
mm-hmm.
I know I would have said Eleanor Roosevelt, because I knew a lot about her.
Right, she was, yeah.
And
yeah.
And then I would have had to start to think, and I would have said maybe Elizabeth Blackwell, because she was the first woman doctor.
Okay.
Or Clara Barton.
Clara Barton.
She started the Red Cross. She was a nurse during the Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
But then I would have stumbled after that, and that is amazing. And then I have to tell you that in my last semester of college, my male history professor had a seminar on women in American history. And speaking for not just me, but for everyone in our seminar who were history majors, we were blown away. Because we had sort of thought that women didn't do anything really important in history, except maybe if you were a monarch, like Cleopatra, or Queen Elizabeth I, or Queen Victoria.
Or Joan of Arc.
Or Joan of Arc,
we all knew Joan of Arc.
Right.
Right.
But oh my gosh, the world opened up. And so I realized how much things have changed, and yet they haven't completely shifted. We're still a misogynistic country. For example, we had one of the most incredibly well-prepared women to be president, but she couldn't be elected, and that's Hillary Clinton,
mm-hmm.
because largely because she was a woman. And
Do you think so?
I think so. I think people,
Yeah.
they criticized her more than they would have criticized a man.
I think you're right, because I remember kind of doing that.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't choose the other guy, but I kind of, yeah, I do remember that a little bit.
Yeah, it was kind of amazing. So, anyway, when I think about it now, knowing what I do, I have 3 new people.
Okay, 3 new people.
Okay. So one is Harriet Tubman.
Oh, wonderful.
One, of course, is Eleanor Roosevelt, who
Right.
I respect tremendously.
Right.
And the other is Frances Perkins.
Oh, yes, the first Secretary of State?
Labor.
Labor, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the first woman cabinet member.
Yeah.
But so I'll just talk a little bit about that.
Okay, all right.
And Harriet Tubman was, to me, incredible because she just defied the odds. I mean, she was a slave. She escaped slavery, made her way to the North, and got herself sort of educated, got herself an organization, and then she started the Underground Railroad.
Did she start it? She did effectively, didn't she?
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, when I was a kid, I thought the Underground Railroad was like literally a railroad.
I know. And if you read The Underground Railroad by Carlton, it's a newer book. Oh, he was a speaker here in town. Anyway, I kind of read that thinking, is he talking about a real railroad? Because he did write it like that. Yeah, yeah.
Well, there were some parallels with the actual railroad because there were stops on the railroad. There were signs, secret signs. People would put lights or quilts in their windows, and the quilts were designed to tell stories because a lot of people couldn't read or write back then.
All right.
And
Oh, that's fun.
yeah, it was pretty amazing. But not only that, she did all that, and she rescued at least 70 people that we know of,
Wow.
maybe more, including her own parents who were elderly. She was a nurse. She was a spy for the Union Army.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that about Harriet.
Yeah,
Okay,
she,
cool.
She did a lot of really cool things.
Right?
And she was obviously an abolitionist, so she was objected to slavery. She was also a suffragist, so she worked really closely with the suffragists, with Susan B. Anthony, Susan Cady, and
So when did we're talking about the Civil War or before the Civil War? What?
she was born in 1822
22,
and,
okay.
and died in 1913. I have to put my note down here because I didn't.
She was almost 90?
Yes, amazing.
Wow.
And
Wow.
you know what? One of the things that she did was that she recognized that there was a need for caring for older people. And so she founded a home for elderly African Americans.
Oh,
Isn't that amazing?
it is.
I mean, she had so much energy and she was very strong with the suffragist movement.
I find women in particular like that are strong when they are well educated about it, when they are passionate about it, they stand firm on their thinking,
Yes.
and that shows through as confidence and strength. And I find that in today's leaders and stuff, and I just recognize that so much, and I love it. I love it when somebody's really strong on their footing, means they know a lot about what they're talking about.
Right.
You know, she was almost 90 and did all that. Isn't that amazing?
Pretty incredible.
And the middle of her life was the Civil War.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's not like she was 20, not like that's amazing. Really
And-
good on her.
Yeah.
Really good.
I know. It's
I know.
incredible.
Okay, I love your first choice. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Eleanor Roosevelt, whom I love.
You have to have her in there, don't
She
you?
redefined what it was like to be a first lady. And the thing about it is that she was born into a wealthy family. No one expected her to do anything. She was fairly sheltered. She had buck teeth, so she felt very embarrassed about her looks.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very, very shy. And I think that it's sort of the essence of bravery to overcome all that and do what she did.
Mm-hmm.
She married her cousin, second cousin, Franklin Roosevelt, and so her last name didn't change
Right.
when she got married. And she supported him. And even though he was a philanderer, which a lot of famous men have been, she stood by him and supported him. And she was his eyes and ears, because when he got polio, which was later in life, he was 40.
I was going to say 35, but 40 is probably right. Yeah,
when he got the polio. So he was not as mobile, and she went out all over the country to meet people.
Mm-hmm.
So she was his ears and eyes and things.
Wow.
The other thing she did was she started public speaking. We were talking about speech track.
Yeah.
And she was so embarrassed and thinking that she was not good enough. But she overcame that, and she was an advocate for women, for racial equality, for workers' rights. And she wrote a newspaper column every day.
Oh, I remember
called
that.
My Day.
Yeah. And did she do it on the radio too, or was it just in the paper?
I think she did both.
Yeah.
And of course, Roosevelt was famous for pioneering this concept of the fireside
chats,
where he would talk on the radio, which was the new technology of the time.
Wow. I mean, both of them have really together. They made a really dynamic couple.
Yeah, power couple.
Power couple. They did, even though they didn't know it. You know, I think they pretty much led separate lives a lot of times, and
they did after a while. Yeah.
But I think they always had the mutual working together, respect and stuff. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah.
And another thing about Eleanor Roosevelt that I really admire is how much she supported racial equality. So back in Washington, D.C., there's this beautiful, like a symphony hall kind of thing called the Daughters of the American Revolution Hall.
Oh, okay.
And it's very elegant, and they have a lot of special events there. And there was a singer called Marian Anderson, who was the most famous singer of the time, and she's black. Well, she's since passed away. But anyway, she was scheduled to sing at the Daughters of the American Revolution Hall. But then the leaders of the DAR said, "Oh wait, we can't have a black woman sing there. No, we're going." So they decided to cancel the engagement.
Wow.
So Eleanor Roosevelt, who was a member of the DAR, canceled her membership and arranged a special event at the Lincoln Memorial for Marian Anderson. So it was an outdoor event, and you can see the video of it today. I mean, it was stunning, and it was such a statement.
Wow.
For the wife of the president to make.
You know, I think my recollection of Eleanor Roosevelt too, that's usually about the time we ended up the school year, was kind of finished at that point. But she stood for a lot of working people too. It wasn't just blacks. It was like she could get down and talk and be with people, and I don't know, she just seemed very approachable.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And of course, now what were her dates? Do you have those here?
I do have her dates.
Okay.
Her dates were 1884
1884
to 1962.
Isn't that something? 1962. Wow.
She was also, I need to say this.
Again, somebody almost 85-ish?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So after her husband died at the end of World War II, the winners of World War II came together and they said, how can we make sure this doesn't happen again, that we don't have another war? So they started the United Nations.
Right.
And she was a major figure in driving that forward. And in particular, she was chaired the group that came up with the United Nations, what do I call it? The Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And that's the basis of our understanding of how wars are conducted.
About what year was this? Was this after World War II, you said?
Correct. So World War II ended in 1945. And so this was about 1948
Okay.
that it all came together. It came together in San Francisco, actually.
Because, yeah, I sort of, didn't Wilson actually have this vision after World War I of the United Nations?
He did. He wanted to have, it was a slightly different concept,
Okay.
but you're absolutely correct. It was that idea that we want to have no more wars. And if
Right.
we can just improve the ability of different countries to talk to each other, then we won't have war anymore. But see, she put down all these rules, she and her team
Right.
put down all these rules about rules of engagement, how you protect non-combatants,
Okay.
and how to protect children and women, and what the rights are.
Man, that
what
needs to
our
be a
rights are.
speech track subject. How are we doing today with that, right? You know, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh, I see. Okay, I love your two women. Who's the third one?
Frances Perkins.
Okay.
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 So, and she's 1880 to 1965. So she pretty much overlaps Eleanor Roosevelt. She was born
To what year?
Couple-
1965.
1965.
Oh yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
But again, 85 years old.
Yeah.
These gals are good.
yeah,
Okay.
and they worked hard and had a lot of stress in their lives.
All right.
Yeah.
So Frances Perkins, tell me about her, because her name isn't as familiar as Harriet Tubman and Eleanor Roosevelt.
True, but the thing is that if it weren't for Frances Perkins, we might not have Social Security or minimum wage or labor laws,
Okay.
like workers' rights.
And she was Secretary of Labor? Is
Yes.
that the first? Okay.
So what happened with her, there's a little background. She was born to middle-class people. She went to Mount Holyoke College. She got graduate degrees at Columbia. She was very interested in social work that Jane Addams had started at Hull House. She's another incredible person.
Yeah.
Okay, Jane Addams was a super wealthy woman who got a great education, really felt that it was an obligation to take care of women and children. She was appalled at what happened to the immigrant women and children in the country, because there were it was like slave labor,
Right.
and children worked, and it was completely unsafe.
Was this after or before 1776? It had to be about
It was-
1790-ish.
No, Jane Addams was more in the late 1880s.
Okay.
Yeah, she was a
Oh,
little
she's
bit
that.
before.
Okay.
A
All
little
right.
bit before.
Okay.
So she was really passionate about protecting women, because if their husbands left or died or something, they were destitute. They were on the street.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. And so what she did was Jane Addams, this
Mhm.
is, came up with a settlement house, and it started in Chicago, and then there were settlement houses in other places because a lot of these women were advocating for this. So they had a place where it was safe for the women and children. They could learn skills like sewing and cooking and other things. The children could learn how to play. They could learn how to get dressed. They could learn that they had to brush their teeth. They had to just learn a lot of hygiene and things like that. And she basically started social work. And she was also a peace advocate. So,
Wow.
yeah, Jane Addams is cool. So
Yeah. Okay. Now we're coming back
Eleanor-
to Frances.
yeah,
Okay.
Frances was very, very impressed with that work, and actually worked at Hull House for a while. And then she thought she would do more and more in New York, where she was from. And so she actually first met Roosevelt there when Roosevelt became governor of New York,
Mhm.
before he had polio.
Right.
He was a little bit of a all that kind of man. You know, he was handsome, he was charismatic. Frances didn't like him all that much, but he really trusted her because he knew that she was getting stuff done. So she worked in New York State on these issues. And then when Roosevelt got to be president, he asked her, "Will you be my Secretary of Labor?" Well, first, no woman had ever been a secretary before, cabinet level. Second, she said, I won't accept unless you let me do these things. And by then she knew about it. Minimum wage, Social Security, labor laws. So we're going to limit the number of hours that people have to work. We're going to have safety in there because it used to be that the machines people worked at were so dangerous that people would lose fingers. If your hair got caught in a machine, you could lose your scalp. You know, it was horrible. And Roosevelt was like, well, I don't know if I can do all that. And she said, well, I'm not coming unless you let me try.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. And she was the driving force behind the New Deal.
Yeah. Nice. Oh my gosh. All right.
Yeah.
Frances Perkins. Yeah, that's exciting. First, okay. I
Yeah.
love it.
She worked on Civilian Conservation Corps. She even did an equivalent of that. Oh, I should say that the CCC helped young men
Right.
have jobs
because
that's what
helped us out of
the Great Depression.
Right.
Is that Roosevelt made up jobs for people to do. Build
a dam.
Build paths through our national parks, build bridges, build schools, build music halls. And he just employed these people and fed them, and these skinny little guys came up and they were healthy again, and they had the dignity of a job.
Yeah.
So she did the same, Frances Perkins did the same thing with women too.
Yeah.
She had
Eleanor carried that torch too. I mean, there's a real resounding theme. All three of these, and we'll include Jane a little bit. All of these women are very strong advocates for equality.
Yes.
And especially the female side of it. But I see it everywhere. I mean, there were a lot of needs for the young men, like you're saying, or in war, you aren't a nurse, or you're not. Men need the nurses more than. I mean, it's pretty incredible the pull together on that. And yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. All three. Okay. Anybody else on your list? Those are the three main ones. Plus, we'll include Jane. So 3
Okay.
plus 1. Got anybody else that you would have picked?
There's some others. Like if you want to go back to the founding of our country, the
Yes.
woman who comes most close to being a founding mother was the wife of John Adams, our second president, and her name was Abigail. Adams.
Yeah.
And she, unlike most women at the time, was able to read and write. She wrote thousands of letters, so all of this is well documented.
Yeah.
And she advised her husband when he was president. She was a strong consultant, and she famously wrote a letter to him when they were writing the Constitution. She said, "Remember the ladies," because she didn't want men in this country to be able to abuse their wives.
Yeah.
And wanted women to have some vote. Now, she didn't get that, but
It got out there.
it got out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll just defend the guys because that's what I do. That's you were the protector of. You didn't
Right.
think of it as abusing. That wasn't on most of the men's radars. It was out there. But I think they thought they were protecting or taking care of. I think men think that is their role. And frankly, when I look at a firefighter or a police officer or a first responder, that's what I'm thinking. They're going to take care of me. And so I kind of get the thinking. That wasn't maybe on the radar as much as it is on the women who received bad treatment would obviously be the ones to kind of go, hey, don't forget that, right?
That's true, but I think that they just considered women like second-class people.
Yeah,
in
I
general.
suppose.
Yeah, why would you not have women able to vote? So, for
Right.
example, women did not get the vote in this country, until 1920.
Yeah.
And it was the 19th Amendment.
Yeah.
And that had been worked on for years. I mean, ever since the founding of the country.
Right.
And ironically, Wyoming was the first state to offer the vote to women.
Yeah, I knew that from a trivia quiz or something. I
Yeah.
don't know, but
Do
and
you
that
know-
seems so obscure.
Well, there was a reason for that. It's that Wyoming wanted people to move out there, and they didn't want just men, because in order to grow a state,
Right.
in order to have a decent society, you needed to have women. And so they wanted to attract women.
Oh,
And
nice.
so they said that women could vote. And then, when Wyoming was going to be a state, the government in D.C. said, nope, you can't become a state because you're allowing women to vote. And so
I didn't
they had
know
to take it back.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that incredible?
Yes.
We laugh now, but
That was a big fight back then, I can imagine, or
Yes.
a big issue, if
Yes.
nothing else.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So who are your women?
Oh, well, I would have said Abigail Adams. I don't know all that much about her, but I do know she had a very good way of writing and presenting and supporting her husband through a lot of confrontations with all the others on that committee.
I want to tell you a fun fact about
Okay.
Abigail Adams.
Okay, Abigail Adams.
Okay. This
Okay.
has to do with vaccinations.
Oh,
Because they
we're
didn't
bringing
have
it right up to date. Okay.
they didn't have vaccinations exactly there, but smallpox was a horrible, horrible disease that people died from a lot. It was very scary. People would have to evacuate whole towns and go out into the countryside in order to get away from it. But somebody had invented this concept of inoculation, where you take some of the germs from the smallpox and put a small amount in your body, and then you are protected from it.
Mhm.
And she was an early adopter.
Oh,
And so it was controversial at the time. And so literally what happened, she had several children, and she had arranged for this inoculation. So this guy came by with a wagon. I've read about this in books. And there was a guy on the wagon dying of smallpox. I mean, literally dying. He was just there. So the guy who came by, he took a knife and scraped some of the boils
Mhm.
from the smallpox on this dying man, and put it touched the knife into the veins of the children
Children.
and to Abigail, and they all survived. They all did not get smallpox.
that's pretty cool.
That's pretty.
That's pretty gutsy, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, didn't we pick on women in World War II and Nazis who told their kids? Anyway, okay. Sorry, I went down a red
Who
path
else?
there.
Who else would you?
Who else would I
consider?
pick?
Yeah.
I was trying to think about that. I think you mentioned Claire Barton.
Yeah.
I would do something in the Red Cross medical community. Women are strong in that, but for those of that made a difference, I think they're rare. She was one that made a difference. I
She
think.
did.
Yeah.
She definitely did. And I had been thinking about being a nurse, so I
Yeah.
had sought out biographies
Uh-huh.
on women like that.
Mhm.
I chickened out and became a teacher.
Well, that's okay. You did check it out.
But that's why I knew Elizabeth Blackwell, and
Okay, tell me about
Claire
Elizabeth
Barton.
Blackwell.
she was the first American woman to become a doctor.
Oh, I think I knew out of Ohio. Was she out of Ohio?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Okay.
But she was remarkable because men didn't want women in
Mm-hmm.
medical school.
Mhm.
And so she had to fight a lot of discrimination.
Right.
And she was great. And she worked in England too. So she's American and English.
English.
both,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, she should be up there on my list, but she wasn't. I don't know. I'm trying to think who else I would emulate, or, I mean, I think the people you chose are great.
Now,
Yeah.
one person who is still alive and who
I
I
love that.
think is amazing is Dolores Huerta.
Oh,
She worked with Cesar Chavez.
oh, that's right.
And
Is
a
that his
lot-
widow? Or just
Nope.
Okay.
Nope. They were both just activists in the movement to protect immigrants and workers' rights in the fields.
Mhm.
And Dolores Huerta actually was the better organizer, and Cesar Chavez gets all the credit,
Right.
but she is amazing. She deserves more credit than Cesar Chavez.
Yeah.
If you read about it. So,
Okay.
and she's still alive. She still supports
I
them.
saw her on something not too long ago. But
Yeah.
anyway, I mean, and you know, I think men who accomplish a lot are picked on and overshadowed other men a lot too that might be more deserving. It's not just women, men kind of undeserving. It just seems that way because we're sensitive to it. But I find that sometimes a lot of men don't get a lot of credit and stuff that they should.
That's true, but okay, I'll bring up another topic.
There we go.
What about Hidden Figures? Do you remember
Yes,
that
I
film?
do. I do.
Okay.
The
and
mathematics and
I
getting
believe,
the, yeah.
Yep, I believe it was Catherine Hopper.
I don't know.
If
The
I
one lady just passed away not too long ago, I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And those women were amazing.
Yeah. And really got Apollo 13 down more so than, or I think it was Apollo 13. They got
they got Apollo 11
Okay.
landing on the moon.
Yeah, okay.
And so that was a really important thing. And black women.
Yeah,
were-
and overshadowed by
Yes,
yeah,
for
yeah,
sure.
yeah, for sure.
And that's the whole point. There's so many
yeah,
fantastic women out there, and we just didn't hear about them.
yeah.
And when I was growing up.
Wow.
And so now we're hearing more, and
well, and we have a
important.
stronger voice.
yes,
But oh my gosh, that was fun. I
Thank
think
you.
I might continue this theme with other people throughout the year
that's a
of
great
celebrating the 250th of our country,
idea. Okay.
and of course there'll be the midterm elections are coming up, so we'll get some
Yeah.
politics in there as I try to do. Okay, I think those were wonderful choices. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh,
This has been fun.
It was fun. So everyone, have a happy holidays. Be kind to one another. Be smart, because we need to be smart out there. Go Niners! I'll lend you with that one, because that's the most important. No. Anyway, take care of one another and be kind.
Thank
Thank
Be
you,
kind.
Susan.
I love that.
Thank you.